T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys.
Yeah.
You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Did Callum disappear like all of our best players today?
I believe so. Oh, you back?
Yeah.
You back?
Yeah, I'm here. Evening, lovely people. Liverpool won, Chelsea won. Goals from Kai Havertz in the first half and a penalty from Mo Salah after Reece James was sent off. I mean, here's this is where football's so fun. If anyone said to you before the game, 1-1, would you take it? A lot of Liverpool fans would say, yeah, do you know what? That's not a terrible result. 1-1 against Chelsea, not a bad result. But when you look at the starting lineup, when you look at how the game actually played out, 1-1 is a bad result for us, in my opinion. I don't know if that's me being over the top or too dramatic, but I do think that's a bad result.
It is a bad result.
That's not being dramatic, bro. That's just fact, bro. That's
It's a bad result.
That's a terrible result after a terrible performance.
They had 10 men, couldn't break them down. We've done the same thing we normally do. Don't move the ball quick enough, and then if you're not going to move the ball quick enough, you've got a probe. We didn't do that either. There's two ways to do it. You either move the ball very quickly and get the other team out of shape, or you probe like what Man City do. We didn't do either. We kept on spamming crosses for no reason again, because we do the same thing. Go to the sides. We get to that middle part where no one's got no source. And then we go to the to the wide areas, and then we look for Trent or Robert to smash the ball in and hope someone can get on the end of it. There was no thought process to how we were going to break them down. For me, Jurgen Klopp today got it wrong. Me and Drift were talking about it before the game started, about Harvey Elliott. And this isn't even on Harvey Elliott either, by the way, when I say this. But first of all, I was like worried about the runners from midfield from Chelsea. And that proved like that was a big thing, especially first half, when every single time that they broke with pace and they just carved from midfield.
Yeah.
Then it was a case of, okay, so they're carving through, and with the defending for the goal, fair enough, defending was poor. Kai Havertz walked in, no one looked at him, got a free header. You're like, what's going on there? All right, they score. And to be fair to Chelsea, they were actually playing very well. They always look dangerous going forward. Then we obviously score courtesy of a Reece James handball, which again, I kept on asking you, Kyle, like, was it a handball? And you were like, no, look again. Let's again. Like, okay, it was handball. Red card. You think, okay, cool. Let's see what we've got in the locker now. Let's see what we can really do. They're down to 10 men. Let's see if we can actually break a team down. Nothing has changed from last season. It's the same type of play. But to be fair, can we expect anything different when it's the same type of players? Cal, you said it best when we were live.
Yeah. Sorry. Before we go too deep, let me get some of these super chats.
Yeah, calm. I just got a lot to get off my chest, man.
Nisa says, I know it's Chelsea and they're well organised, but the second half is worrying big time. No creativity and just slow from us. And it was against 10 men, not happy. I can't remember who said it, but there was another super chat that said Mane is beyond finished. If he needs to be a sub at best now. Jamrock says, Drift, you understand why I say Klopp lost us the Premier League in 18-19. A couple more. Rion said, how's man looking at the bench in need of a goal and realizes, oh, damn, Simic Costas is our best option. Yo, FSG, bust my man some peas, I beg. I don't know. Ason says, FSG is a big issue, though, not their lineup and tactics. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Everyone knows my Matt and Drifty stance on FSG. Today is not their fault. Like, today is Jurgen Klopp's fault. And look, I am Klopp in. I can't be any more Klopp in. But if he has a bad day in the office, I think he deserves to be called out on it. And today was terrible from him, in my opinion. The starting lineup was poor. His substitutions were poor and his tactics were poor. Like, Drift, I don't know if you disagree or agree. I mean, I'm going to quickly read out super chats and I'll let you answer. Shaka A says, today showed why we need a cam and a target man. Options. King of Pogu, you guys ready to fight for top 4 again? No, I'm not ready to fight for top 4 again. Tahir says our bench is weak. Who do we bring on? Drift, the floor's yours, bro.
I think that second half was just whack. It was just whack. There's no two ways about it. And I see a lot of people doing the typical scapegoating that happened last season. I see it. The agendas are still there. It's cool. I'm not going to address it.
You can't say it's an agenda, Drift. You had a poor game, bro.
No, we did have a poor game, but everybody had a poor game. So I don't want the whole. And the thing is, saying he finished off the back of 2 very good performances and a goal in the first 2 games. The reactionariness is just this. What I'm saying, it's agendas. I ain't got time for it.
Silver Spring Monday's finished. You can't.
I can have 2 good games and then all of a sudden you have a bad game and you're finished again. The agenda. I'm not even paying any attention to it. I'll leave it. It's fine. That's all. I'll leave that kind of like unintelligent, singling someone out for no reason stuff is cool. But the whole second half was just dreadful. The movement from the whole of the front 3, all of them, Jota, Salah, Mane, all of their movement wasn't really good. All of their, like, they all had chances. Like, if we want to talk about guilty chances, I was ahead of that Jota had that he did well with, but I'm like, in the way the game's going, like, you beat Thiago Silva, like, that's got to kind of be better. But it was a difficult chance. I'm not going to jump down his throat, but Thiago Silva had been taken out and he's got to hit the target. There was a lovely little bit of play that we did and it drops to Mo, like around the penalty spot, and it's the weakest shot I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Like, the whole front 3 for me were just not good today at all. Like, I don't really think, I know obviously give credit to Mo, he scored the penalty. That was amazing under the pressure. But in that second half, we were spamming crosses again. We're doing that same thing we were doing last season where Robbo and Trent, and actually, to be fair, Thiago done it when he came on. Harvey's kind of got the bug a little bit. It's just this aimless crossing the ball from like a deep, wide position, hoping somebody's going to do something with it in the box, and we have no tall target players in the area. It's very confusing to me. Like, on the edge of the box, Fabinho had a good shot, but that was it. We didn't really have that many like shots from outside the box, and if they're camped in, you got to start packing a few shots from distance if you're struggling to get close enough. We weren't really shooting from distance. To be honest with you, that second half said everything that a lot of the second half of last season said to us. We have a good team, but we don't have an X factor, maverick type of player that when a game like today is happening, that guy unlocks the other team or is creating so much havoc that there's space that opens up for other people.
I don't think it's a maverick, Drift. I think we're lacking a plan B.
But a maverick gives you plan B, Cal, because he can be unpredictable in his creativity and he can do things off the cuff that nobody... If you watch that game...
I don't disagree with you about having a maverick. I do think it's different from having a plan B, because a maverick can be having a terrible game and pull out a worldie. That for me is not a plan B. That's a maverick doing something special. A plan B is, right, this is not going right. This is not going right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to a 3 at the back, maybe push the fullbacks up and play 1 attacking midfielder and 2 strikers. That's a plan B. Or I'm going to throw on a Vlahovic, for example, if we have someone of a target man status. I'm going to throw on a Vlahovic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop Jota slightly deeper so that the hold-up man can affect the defense, and then Jota can sort of feed off the scraps that he gets. And we're going to keep on the wide men to cross the ball into Vlahovic or a target man. That for me is a plan B. A Maverick is, boy, let's give him the ball and get him out of trouble. That's not a plan B. That's just a Maverick doing what a Maverick does, isn't it? We don't have a plan B.
No,
nor do we have
I
a
hear
Maverick,
that. I hear
which
that.
makes it even worse. We
The
don't have a
reason why
plan
I
B at
think we
all.
need a Maverick is because Klopp's been here for how long? He's never going to have a plan B. There's no point us acting like all of a sudden we know our manager's going to change when he's long in the tooth and he's got all the success he has. Klopp doesn't have a plan B. Klopp just rinses the way he plays until it works. And a lot of the time it does work, and that's why he sticks to it. But he's not going to change, and that's why I feel like we need a Maverick, Cal, because Klopp's never going to change the system, but a Maverick can unlock a defense at a mad moment, and then everybody's thinking, oh, shit, where did that come from? Do you get what I'm saying? And even though I'm not, like, we'll get into the Klopp situation a bit later, because I do think it's a problem that he continues to be stubborn and not change. These are the reasons why, for me, somebody like St. Max, who he ain't like a world beater or anything, but that type of player in your team causes so much problems. A team can't just sit in and go, well, if we don't give Mo or Mane any pace to run it behind, they can't do fuck all to us. And if we've got two tall centre-backs in the middle, Jota ain't going to win any headers. So, all right, we're cool. And Chelsea just showed it. They just sat deep, gave us no room to run in behind, marked Jota in the middle with two tall centre-backs, who obviously Thiago Silva as well, very experienced, and we couldn't fucking do anything. Yeah. And everybody's going to say masterclass from Tuchel. Not really. I think we let them off the hook. Anybody can just go 2 banks of 4.
No, they didn't do that though, Jiff. They didn't actually do that.
They did,
no, they didn't. Bruv, they didn't even play 4 at the back. How can they do 2 banks of 4?
Bruv, I was watching the game and constantly seeing Lukaku on his own 4-4 all the time. I was watching. You could see the 2 banks of 4, and
they played 5 at the back for a start, bruv.
Who?
They played 5 at the back. So it wasn't
but whenever we had the ball, they were going to 2 banks of 4, bro. I could literally see it on the screen, bro. They were going 2 banks of 4 and just leaving Lukaku up front when we had the ball. And yeah, they broke a couple of times. Well, they're a good team. They're not like they're a good team, and of course they're going to do the odd little counter attack in that. But that was 2 banks of 4 solid when we had the ball, and then they will break on us if they got an opportunity. And we could not break them down because they sat deep and they just kept everybody in a position where we don't have someone who can do something off the cuff. And that's what the problem was for me. Harvey Elliott, I love the kid. I think in a couple of years, he's going to be a star. But at his age now and his part and the way his game is based, he cannot be the guy we're relying on to unlock defenses. It's not even really his game. If you actually watch him, he's not that type of, he's not an Ozil or a Coutinho where he's got that eye for a needle pass or he's got a lovely bit of, do you know what I mean? He's got
an eye for a pass, Jeff.
He's got a good pass in him.
Not good enough to be unlocking 2 banks of 4 when they're just sitting there and we're in a situation like that. He don't. Not yet. Maybe he has the ability to develop that, but right now we don't. And he showed it today. Like he couldn't do anything in that game, and it ain't his fault. But I'm saying if you're gonna play him over Naby, Klopp, he's kind of got to justify because Naby's got that eye in the needle pass. Naby will play in a game like that and do a little side shimmy and play a cutthroat pass nobody else could see. So if you're going to drop Naby for Elliott, Elliott's got to do better than what he did today.
Thiago can do it as well.
Oh, yeah,
it's just a weird one. Let me get through the super chats and then we do player ratings, guys. Cal's Flannel, didn't we have a low blood problem 2 seasons ago? Yeah. So, do you know what? Even the season we won the league, you could argue that we still did struggle a little bit with low blocks. We just were able to get set pieces and score goals. We didn't really play through teams. Like we've never been able to really do that since Coutinho's left. So again, make of that what you will. Got a couple more super chats. Bear with me, guys. King Rich says, effing toothless. We can never break down low blocks. It's going to be peak against Atletico. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Say that again, bro.
It's going to be peak against Atletico because we can't break down low blocks.
Yeah, bread and butter, man.
We knew that. That's why we didn't want them.
Yeah, Timmy says Mane average first half, second half awful. Salah barely put barely better, but put pen away, which will allow performance to be forgotten. Elliott had less attacking impact than Thiago. Fair
See,
point.
that's something I disagree with. I rate Salah for dealing with the pressure of tucking that penalty away. He was a G for that.
No,
But
he's
that
not.
doesn't mean that you then forget he had a poor game, which is what I think people do a lot
No,
with Salah.
that's what
No,
he
he
just
never
said
said
that.
that, bro.
That's what he
You
just
see,
said, Drift.
bro, you got
No, I'm
bro.
saying, and I agree with him, but people will do that. That's what I'm saying. People are gonna big up Salah because he scored a penalty, but I'm saying I don't think it's fair to forget that the whole front three. Firmino was the best forward today, but he come off injured. Do you get what I mean? Like Firmino actually was the only forward today really that had a good game, but obviously he only played 35 minutes. Like the front three weren't good today, man. They weren't at all.
975 Jamrock says Klopp and Edwards don't want a true 9. Klopp wants forwards who are fluid across the field. Disagree, but we stuck with his stubbornness. Need another football in mind. Time will tell on that. Time will tell. Can't say I disagree or agree on that one, Jamrock. I just think time will tell. Vinod says Ox should have come on for his directness and long range ability. Why didn't Minamino get a chance today as Mane was off the pace? Bring in Doku ASAP. Doku's another one though. We're relying on what is Doku 18. So if Mane's having a bad run of games, we're gonna ask for an 18-year-old to come in and change everything. Like,
yeah, I don't even think Doku's answered.
Yeah, Star Days said we need a legit cam more than a striker. We need both.
I slightly agree. You know? I'm not gonna lie, I slightly agree. Or a wide forward who has the ability of an attacking midfielder, like
a Sancho. Brother O Sampson said, yes, he is true. Brother O Sampson said they were there for the taking, but in my opinion, Mendy kept Chelsea in the game and then 5 defenders. That's what they should be doing, though.
Yeah.
Mendy did what he's paid to do. And he had a very good game. Himanshu says, this was prime Chelsea and prime Chelsea will win the Premier League. I mean, I don't know if it's prime Chelsea. It's difficult to judge Chelsea on today because they just had to go into a defensive shell and make sure they didn't lose the game. So I think it's difficult to judge them.
Yeah.
And let's not get twisted. The 10 men almost helped them to get the result they wanted because they weren't good either. Like, apart from a goal, which was if you want to act like it was on purpose, was a great header. For me, he was flicking it on winning, stroke a lot. Other than that, they never done that either. Do you know what I mean? I don't want the Chelsea fans to start kind of like they were like amazing and then the red card changed the game. They weren't doing nothing in the game either.
They were playing better than us, though.
I mean, ever so slightly. Do you know what I mean? Like, it weren't like they were playing well, Cal. You know, we were playing really bad. It weren't hard to be better than we were. Do you know what I mean? So,
Sean Swain says, mighty CFC fans celebrating a draw. Keep faith. You'll never walk alone. Yeah, less said about Chelsea, the better, man. Dad says, Mane and Salah struggled to beat their man one-on-one. Mo couldn't get past Alonso. Neither of them could dribble. Jorginho who is a slow poke. No dynamism.
That's the truth. The wide men were poor. Both of them.
Yeah,
There's no point.
Literally, if I can remember, I think Mo got past Alonso once, if that. That's poor.
Bro, I don't remember our wide players beating them. I don't remember Robbo and Trent overlapping. I don't really remember any width today, really.
Raz2810 says, sorry to say, but Mane is washed. I don't care. Also, Salah put on a plate for Jota with the outside of his foot. Mane foot pass. Mane can't get past Jorginho. Him and Robbo were dead. Some fair statements in there, in my opinion.
I agree. I definitely agree that when Mo put that cross in, Jota's got to do better. I'm not going to dig at him, but he's got to do better with that. He does. If he's going to be the striker, he's got to do better with that.
William Wright says, Drift, wake up. Mane's been awful for a whole year. See, William, I disagree with that. He's not been awful for a whole year. Like, first half of last season, he was very good. He was very good for us.
And he was good in pre-season in the first 2 games of this season.
Pre-season, pre-season, that doesn't. For me,
but I'm saying like Tsimikas and a few other players carried that into the thing. So I'm still looking at it like in preseason, everyone's saying, "Right, Mane's back again. He's fresh. He's beating players well." And then he has one bad game against Chelsea. Come on, man, that flip flop's too much for me. Till I all of a sudden just get we can get the agenda track back out. Everyone in the game today was poor. What's the point in picking on one man? I think Van Dijk and Alisson are probably the only 2 players really that can be like, actually, Matip in the second half really did well as well.
Let's say that for player ratings. Let's say that for player ratings. David says Salah hasn't beaten his man 1v1 in over 18 months. That's a lie. It's a lie.
What did I say?
No, he's saying Salah hasn't beaten a man one-on-one in 18 months. That's just not fact.
Yeah, come on, man. That's
Ibro says Liverpool finished. They couldn't beat 10 men Chelsea, CR7.
that's a Man U fan. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, obviously we've got to see.
How about Southampton?
Yeah, I was just about to say, let's not throw stones when we're living in glass houses now. Mr. Tibbs09 says our team lacked composure and quality in the final third today. There were many heavy touches and misplaced passes at critical moments. Facts, because we do not have many technicians in the team. That is where it is. We do not have many technicians. AA says Origi was man of the match. AA with the jokes as always. Star Dazen says have to be real about Robbo. He's been poor for a while. No, he hasn't been.
He had a below Robbo season last year, but not poor. Yeah, he's not been.
Tahir says the front three need challenging, get the money out. That is true. Abdul, thank you very much for your super chat. I don't know if you want us to leave a comment there. Sean says first two games, Mane and Costas and Naby his side. Mane had Costas and Naby his side. Yeah, but he still played well in those games. Can't just ignore the first two games. Like we can talk about Mane today, and like we can have an opinion on how he's been over the last year, for example. But I mean, like he still had two good games. Like he was awful today, but he still had two good games before that. Like,
but I'm not paying any attention to the agenda anymore.
You can't just But Drift, what I will say, I don't agree when you keep on saying it's an agenda. Like for me,
no, it's an agenda. I saw it from last season. It is an agenda.
It's not an agenda.
Enough people have got a Mane agenda, but it's cool. I'm just going to talk about today and leave it at today. I'm not going to.
You might disagree with them, but say it's an agenda, Drift. It's not fact. It's not an agenda, bro.
It is, bro. I can see an agenda when I know it, bro.
Drift, I'm consistent. Mane is on a downward slide. Asen says, Taki, in my opinion,
I'm not gonna talk about Mane apart from today.
Taki, in my opinion, decent in tight areas due to his touch.
Who?
Taki Minamino. I mean, what are we judging out of though? Because we've barely seen him play for Liverpool, so do we really know?
Yeah.
Sean Swain said, that's what I mean. Mane was good those games. No, exactly. He was good the first two. Sam OA says, bereft of ideas when they went down to 10 men, concerned. Yeah.
We went back to spamming the crosses. When are we going to stop doing that, man?
GDBS 10 says, I don't think Klopp has a plan B, not because he's stubborn. It's because he's not tactically flexible. I mean, there's a point in that, to be fair. David said every time Mane used to get on the ball, he used to make things happen. Now it's just not happening for him. It's a worrying sign. We need to sign a superstar, in my opinion. That I think is true. Silver Spring, it says a lot about our bench when Klopp is bringing on a left back ahead of the attacking players. Agree with that.
He's also trying to make up for his mistake as well, because he made a mistake. I said he should have played Simicast from day. He started Robbo, and what's so mad is you could tell Robbo was frustrated with his own, performance when he like slapped the net or whatever, and he was frustrated because Robbo kind of probably thought, I'll give it a go and maybe even play with a painkiller. We don't know, but should have started Simicast, and he should have been able to rectify that mistake. But he has to try in the end, isn't it? It's too late. He made the mistake, bro.
King of Pogu, no agenda drift. Mane isn't a starter. He's been ish. All right, let's go on to player ratings.
Yeah, for real.
You can share the screen.
This game is just like a mazzy, Massive. We drew against Chelsea with 10 men. We was in the ascendancy. We had nothing to do.
I knew we wouldn't win the game. So I guess I should be glad we didn't lose it.
All right, guys, can you keep an eye on the super chats while I do this?
Yeah. I'll go now still.
All right. Alison Becker.
Is there any way to make it a tiny bit bigger, or is that the biggest?
If I make it too big, it's gonna be really fiddly.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Look at this video. I don't know if you read this one. Did you read this one?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I'm up to date with all the super chats now.
You're up to date. All right, calm. Calm.
Alison Becker.
I'll give him an 8.
Matt.
7.5, but you can't give 7.5.
No,
yeah, I guess 8. I guess.
I was going to give him an 8. I thought he was very good today. I thought he spotted danger well, did what he
Yeah.
had to do.
Really good save.
I'm gonna
Kopish
hope
as well,
that
so.
I'm gonna hope it wasn't poor positioning to be lobbed. I can't lie, but yeah.
I don't
see,
think
this
it was. I just think
yeah,
it's one of that. Sometimes it just happens.
It was a world class header, but I did say as soon as it went in, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to look back at that because to be
Yeah,
beaten
if
from
you get
Liverpool
lobbed on your
from
line,
there,
you still got to question it. You know what I mean?
yeah, can't
Yeah,
lie.
but sometimes shots or headers are just perfect. Sometimes
No,
you just got to
it
give
was
the
perfect.
attacker.
It was
I know,
perfect.
Cal, but when you get lobbed on your line, you still got to think, could something else have been done better? You know what I mean?
Fair dues, fair dues. Robbo.
5.
I'll be honest, I think you lot are being generous with that, but I'm outvoted. Virgil.
I give him an 8.
I'm giving Virgil a 9. You know,
I'm giving Virgil a 9.
I
as
think
well.
he was phenomenal. But Lukaku didn't do nothing on Virgil. You know, but I thought Virgil was.
I think to say with phenomenal is being a bit generous, but
Name me
I
a
don't
time
think
when Van Dijk. Name me a
didn't see him
time when
do
Van
anything
Dijk
wrong.
doing every time Lukaku got the ball, he got it off him. There was
No,
time when he showed strength, he showed pace. Bro, Virgil, for me, Virgil.
I'm not saying that. I mean, there was one time Lukaku kind of got past him and he kind of threw himself to the ground, which I was a bit like,
No,
oh.
he pulled him back. That bit
Yeah.
you're talking about when he pulled him.
Yeah, he pulled him down.
I think Cal said he pulled him. I didn't see a pull. I just saw it look a bit like a desperate lunge at the ball. But fair enough if he pulled him. But I actually think Matic was the one who was battling with Lukaku more. That's why I don't necessarily think Virgil can be said to have he completely out-battled Lukaku. I think Matic was the one taking on Lukaku more.
I disagree.
I think it was both.
No, do you know what? Do you know I disagree slightly? And I say slightly because what you're saying is not wrong. It's just that he tried to go up against Virgil at the beginning, couldn't get no change, then switched on to Matic and couldn't get no change. But for me, Virgil set precedent. Like he set the levels and said, Matic, just follow what I just copy what I did, and this guy ain't getting no change. So whether we see, you can say either or. You can say either or. To be fair, so I have no issues. Either or, both 9s in my opinion. Even though we can see this,
that leads me on nicely. So Matip, you giving him a 9, Matt. I'm giving him a 9. What are you saying, Drift?
I think second half he was amazing, but in the first half he was kind of getting a bit too involved in getting like one or two out of positions. He got spun one time, so I think 9's a bit generous based on the whole game. I'd give him an 8 because I don't think his first half was as good as his second half.
That's fair point. Obviously, we got to give him a 9 because me and Matt outvoted you. But
yeah. I mean, and you know what? He was
exceptional.
He was exceptional for the goal, so I'm okay with him getting a 9.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We scored our goal because of him.
Yeah. Trent.
Trent wasn't that great, you know. Trent was like a.
Trent's got to go in average with Robbo, to be fair.
See, all right, so this is what I was going to ask you guys because I agree Trent was average. Was he not better than Robbo though?
He was. I was going to say he was slightly better than Robbo, and I say slightly. That's why I was going to give him a 6 because if I'm saying Robbo was 5 and Robbo had a really poor game, like really poor. I mean, the game about that thing 2 to 4 is poor, but
Robbo wasn't poor defensively. Robbo was poor offensively. Whereas I think in the first half,
that was his main job today,
do you know what? The Robbo's basics, like, bruv, there was one time Robbo passed it off the pitch. Yeah. He actually thought Mane was going to make a run.
Yeah, no, Robbo did not look ready, bro. Matt, this is why we were talking before the game. Robbo did not look ready for the intensity of this game.
Agreed, bruv. He was rushed back, but credit to
him. I'm going to be honest. Tsimikas came on for 7 minutes, looked brighter than Robbo did for 8 minutes.
Tsimikas should have started the game. We said it. And do you know what's so mad? We said, we'll start Tsimikas, but we know Klopp is going to start Robbo. We just knew he was. Frustrating, man.
Here's the thing. For me, even though we played Elliot, which is really brave and actually admirable that he let the youngster play, I actually think bringing Firmino and Robbo back in was actually a bit of a bottling. So it's kind of hard for me to even judge Klopp on that today. Like, it was almost like our big game, you've got to bring the people in.
We'll get to Klopp. Let's stick with the player ratings. So where are we putting Trent then?
I'd give him a 5 personally.
I'd give him a 6 personally. 6.
It comes down to me. I didn't really want this. I'm gonna give him a 6. Fabinho.
Do you know what? He got
His head ain't right, which is why it's hard for me
Little
to like.
sluggish as well. I'm gonna give Fab.
I'd give him a 5 as well. If I'm
I'll
being
give him
honest.
a 6 because he got some interceptions in, but he weren't like he still made a couple of like decisions, and I was like, no, that's not like Fab. I'm gonna give him a 6 personally.
I'd give him a 6 or a 7. What did you say for him, Drift?
I'd give him a 5. I thought he was just average.
Same as Robbo, bro. Fair dues.
Sometimes I find it hard to not judge him against his own performances because he's normally a 9 and a 10 every game. So maybe I'm being a bit.
Are you talking about here, Robbo or Fab?
Fab.
I know. I'm genuinely.
both,
I'm just jugging. I'm literally not thinking about like. I'm just thinking about how they play today. I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
If you give him a 6 now, then fair enough.
Henderson.
Oh,
I'll probably give Hendo a 5 as well.
5.
Agreed. Didn't look right on that left-hand side of midfield, in my opinion.
He just didn't look right.
His array of passing looked affected by it for a start.
Yeah. Harvey.
Do you know what? Harvey got better in the second half. Neat touches, good control. You know, I'm gonna give Harvey a 6. Give him a 6.
Drift.
Yeah, I'd put him in above average as well.
I agree. Salah.
For me, I'm struggling with this one because he dispatched his penalty wonderfully, and
but take away the penalty though. Like,
he was under a lot of pressure. If I'm taking away the penalty, he was a bog standard 5.
Do you know what? I was giving
the penalty, and I'm trying to think about the fact that penalty was under a lot of pressure. So I know it was just a penalty, but he was under a lot of pressure, and he scored.
Do you know what's so mad though? For me, out of the attackers, he kind of looked like the one that potentially could have scored. Because Jordan, I don't actually know. Now I'm going skipping ahead. All right, do you know? Let me stick on Salah. I'm gonna give Salah a 6. I'm giving him a 6. Me personally.
I think I'm deliberately forgetting the chance he missed, which is probably our best chance of the second half. That was so woeful. It was unbelievable.
Which one was that? With the right-footed effort?
Yeah, that was probably
the one that fell to Mane was probably the best chance.
Which one was that?
Where the ball got crossed in and it bounced off him. He didn't have a good first touch.
That wasn't an easier chance than Salah's. Because if Salah was on his left foot, he puts that in the top corner with ease. So I don't agree with that at all. But
for me, Salah's above average. I think obviously the goal, the fact that he almost should have had another assist as well. For me,
for me, it's literally only the penalty that can be why he's in there, because other than that, he didn't have a good game at all. But he took the penalty beautifully. That was a lot of pressure.
For me, no.
I'd put him in above average. I thought
I'll put him 6.
Even though there was 1 or 2 times he gave the ball away, I thought he was fully involved all the time, constantly involved until he came off.
6. It's because he didn't come. It's because he had his very short. I think he was on, and it's hard to say, like on course to have like a 7 there, or dare I say 8. But I think if you look at, obviously, he had to come off the pitch. He did look like an injury to me anyway. It's between a 6 and a 7. Do you know what? Actually, he was getting involved in a lot. I'm actually going to give him a 7. I'm actually going to give him a 7 because he was involved and he was very diligent with his work.
He was the best of the front players today for me. Here's the wickedest thing. When they went down to 10 men, that is when Firmino would have come to life, you know. He actually came off the pitch at the worst time because fair enough. You can say maybe it wouldn't have happened or whatever. Like, it's always full of ifs and buts in it. But I think if they had 10 men in that second half, I think Firmino would have done something space-wise that could have created more chances that we could have kind of, do you get what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm actually really disappointed in the end that Firmino wasn't a part of that second half because I think he makes that second half easier for us.
Fair dues. Jota. They both had
Jota
45
wasn't
minutes pretty much
involved
each.
at
I've got
all.
to give Jota a 4. I think he was poor.
I'm
man.
giving him a
Four?
I'm giving him a 5 because I don't think he was
I think
worse
Jota-
than
I
Robbo
think
or
Jota-
Henderson. He just didn't get
Yeah,
involved.
for me, he was on worse than Robbo or
That's why I
Hendo.
give him a 5 personally. But you're just
No, but
right.
here's
He
the
didn't
thing,
get involved.
Cal.
He didn't get involved though.
Here's the thing, which I think that sometimes people forget when they're doing their ratings. If there's loads of opportunities that you can remember when somebody was poor, like how we've got quite a lot of memories of Robbo being poor, what I want to still give credit for is that even though he wasn't playing well, he never gave up and he was still involved in the game. And I feel like even though Robbo weren't playing well, he was always asking for the ball, getting involved, and he was involved a lot. And I still got to give a bit of credit to that. Whereas you see with Jota, I can't really ever remember Jota even being on the ball.
But
And for
Jota had a
me,
header that was saved though. Let's not get it twisted though.
yeah, but I think he should have done better with the header though, Matt. That's the thing. I
No,
actually
no,
think he
but
should have done better with it.
man,
And I'm
that's a
thinking if for Cal to say Robbo had a worse game than Jota, I feel it's unfair based on Robbo was still involved though, still trying, still constantly getting on the ball. And even if he weren't having a good game, I think you're having a better game if you're kind of not doing well, but you're involved, than if you're just on the edge of the game not doing anything. Do you get what I mean? Like, and for me, Jota was on the edge of the game, just not doing anything. So I would give Jota a 4. But if you're gonna give him a 5, then fair enough.
For me, it's a 5.
I think it's I me personally, I'll go for. I hear what you're saying though. I just think he do you know what it is? Jota was involved in the game, but had them kind of half chances, as you said. Maybe could have done better with the header, but he still forced the goalkeeper into a save. Whereas I feel like with Robbo's even like basic things like I don't know, it's kind of mad. But I would still give Jota a 5, and maybe we're even giving Robbo too much of a high mark. Maybe we should move Robbo to poor blood and make him actually a 4, because 4 is actually poor. Robbo, we're saying, is average right now. If we're being genuinely honest with ourselves, people.
No, but like I said though, bro, defensively he wasn't poor and he was involved in the whole game.
He virtually had nothing to do defensively, Drift.
In the first half, he did.
Not really.
I think there was spurts.
Everything was coming down like
Chelsea were breaking in spurts, innit? They were breaking in spurts, I'd say. They were breaking in spurts.
So here's how I judge it.
If you want to move Rob, if you not want to move Robbo to 4 because you think he was worse than Jota, I think it's harsh. But if I'm outvoted, I'm outvoted, isn't it? Obviously.
No, but this is the way I judge it. So say for example, Alisson didn't have any saves to make, but all of his kicking was terrible. That for me would stipulate that it had a poor game. And I think that is the case with Robbo. Robbo had barely any defending to do, especially in the second half. But attacking wise and going.
Are we then being harsh based on the fact that it's his first game that you have to take into consideration?
No, because I have to judge a game on an isolated incident, regardless of what goes on. Because if Fabinho, we know what Fabinho's gone through, but if Fabinho had a poor game, I've got to say he had a poor game, regardless of what's happening outside. I have to judge the players on what they do on the pitch. I know it sounds harsh, but it's kind of is what it is.
Oh yeah, do you know what? I forgot. Robbo actually let Havertz head of that chance that went in as well. He just watched him head it. Yeah, maybe Robbo.
He didn't. No, we actually looked back
at that. To be fair, I'd even say it wasn't even his fault. You know,
that wasn't his fault.
He ran past Fabinho. Fabinho didn't say nothing, and Robbo just saw someone come in front of him, and he's like, he tried to react to it. He just kind of jumped, and it was too late. That actually went for Robbo's fault.
I get what you're saying, but if you're zonally marking the front post and you get beaten either way, you're kind of still.
No, but someone's got to shout him. Someone's coming at because remember he's got his zone. But imagine if last second someone runs in front of you.
Nah, bro. When I saw the replay, he had long enough to react. When you see the replay, even if it was only a second, he watched Havertz make the run in front of him, and he didn't even engage him or anything. Like he had a moment where he could have, even if he put him off.
If that's the case, Robbo's got to be a 4 then, bro. That's what I'm saying. We're being too kind to Robbo. I think Robbo's got to be a 4.
Robbo's got to drop down to a 4 then. Yeah.
Robbo's got to be a 4 then.
I agree with that. Mane.
I'll let Drift go first on this.
To be honest with you, there's no point. Everyone's just going to think I'm being biased. But I think if Jota gets a 5, Mane gets a 5. Mane won the penalty by being the quickest to react in the box. And yeah, he was poor at beating his man. In the second half, he was awful at taking on his man. But in the first half, I don't think he was poor. I think he had a couple of good runs. And in general, he was involved in the game a lot more than Jota. Like, if you want to compare involvement, regardless of what you were doing, at least Mane was constantly involved in the game. So I feel like if you're going to give Jota a 5, Mane should get a 5. But I would have given Mane a 4, like I was going to give Jota a 4. So it depends which way you lot want to look at it.
For me, I'd give him either a 4 or 5. You're right. He was the sharpest to react. He was on the ball a lot, but his decision making was poor. And I was saying to Cal, with Mane, I don't think it's anything physical. I feel like with Mane, it's mental in terms of like just confidence. You know, when like a player isn't at their highest confidence because like they might take too long on the ball, they might dwell on it or make a bad decision. And that's what I felt like Mane was like that today.
Matt, he's doing
It's
what
not physical.
he does when they're not brimming with confidence. They overthink things.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's got nothing to do with, in my opinion, it's got nothing to do with physical. However, though, he did lose the ball a lot, and some of his decision making, I was like, Mane, why'd you do that? If I'm gonna be honest, it's got to be either a 4 or 5. I have to be real. In my own opinion, I think Mane probably was the worst of the 3, ever so slightly, or maybe level with Jota. So it's either for me a 4 or a 5, in my opinion.
But as I said, and again, and I'm not trying to defend him, I'm saying the same thing I've said for everybody. If you're involved in the game more and you're a part of one of the goals, because remember, we're only giving Salah above average based on the goal, right? Because if you take away the penalty, he wasn't better than Mane or Jota either today.
I disagree with that. I actually disagree with that, Drew.
All right, fair enough. No, he was better than Jota. He was better than Jota, but I wouldn't say he was better than Mane if you take away the penalty.
I would.
Fair enough. But Mane was still the quickest to react in the box. Mane had a couple of great runs in the first half and got fouled, and the ref didn't even say anything. We were talking at half time. Like the ref was just blatantly letting Chelsea get away with fouls. So to be fair, in the first half, Mane did beat his man a few times. Second half, he was awful.
He didn't beat his man, I don't think, at all today.
No, there was a few. If you watch the game back, there was a few times and he came deep, turned, span, ran and beat players and made runs and made space open up. And one time he got completely taken out by Jorginho and the ref didn't even say anything. So for me, I don't see how Mane can be below Jota. That's my argument. There's no way Mane had a worse game than Jota. That is pure.
Let me ask you this, just quickly, as an attacker. All right, let me quickly ask you this. As an attacker, like obviously Mane, you're right, he reacted very quickly to win that penalty. But Jota also had a header that was saved as well. I think there might have been something else that Jota did as well. There might, in fact, was there 2 headers from Jota? Or
back when we got a chance through Trent.
What it is with Mane, other than that, Mane was on the ball a lot, but he lost the ball a lot. And he lost the ball
32 times he lost possession today, more than anyone else, I believe.
I don't know even if that's a real stat.
It is a real stat. I'm not going to say it if it's not a real stat.
What, you've actually second checked it?
What, do you want me to go back through the game and watch all the times he's lost?
No. But if someone puts how many times he lost the ball in the chat, I'm not just going to take it as gospel.
They've said it on Sky Sports as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it is true. I'm just saying I wanted to make sure it was true because I know if people say it in the chat, that always mean it's true. For me, I don't think he had a worse game than Jota. Like I said, I would have given him a 4, but if you lot put Jota in the 5, based on that, I think it should be 5. So it depends what you lot. Obviously, you lot are going to put him in 4, so just do what you got to do, innit?
I've got him as a 4.
I've got him. Yeah,
I'm still not buying that he's finished.
While he was talking about it, I was just thinking about it. I was like, "Oh, was he worse than Jota?" It is a toss-up. I can't lie. It is a toss-up. I don't mind 4 or 5. Not really fast to be honest.
Yeah, like I thought he was poor today, but this whole talk of him being finished.
No, he's not finished. As I said, it's just confidence. Not fit. Listen, Sadio Mane, when he gets the ball, yes, he might make a bad decision or dwell on it, but he's not finished. Finished is like, well, you just couldn't offer nothing. Because he had a bad game, that doesn't mean say that Mane can't offer nothing. Because we weren't saying that about Mane in the first 2 games. You might have even said in the first game, wasn't the best at the front 3, but in the second game, he actually played very, very well. So to say by a third game that a man's finished is kind of mad to me anyway, that anyone that says that. Because he had a bad game and didn't offer a lot, people love to jump on this. He's finished. He's done. He's done. He's not done. He's not in form, and confidence is low.
If people were to say, you know what, I don't think Mane should be a starter anymore. We should go and get another winger, and that winger should be a starter. Yeah, we can have that conversation. But when you say someone's finished, you're implying that they are no longer good.
They can't offer nothing to the club. Like, do you know what finish means? Finish means you're done. Like, you can't offer the. Like,
that's
finish.
crazy.
Come on, man.
He's not finished. Like, I'm not. And look, I'll be real with you. If we were able to get another winger who's
I'm
better than
nothing,
Mane
bro.
to start, then yeah, I'm up for it. But how many wingers are there out there that we can actually afford that are going to be better than Mane, and how many are going to come to Liverpool? What I will say is, I think there needs to be competition for Mane, and I don't think there is any at the moment. In the same way, I think there needs to be competition for Salah, and there isn't at the moment. Like, please,
Fair
let's
play.
not. This narrative, if he's finished, for me, you need more time to judge on whether he's finished or not, in my opinion.
Because you know as well, finish also means as well. Like sometimes you might even be like scared taking the ball and all that stuff. But Mane never shies away from a challenge. He doesn't hide. Just because things aren't working for him, that mean he's finished. It just means that things aren't going right for him. It's so mad because when a player, here's the joke that we as fans do. When a player hits a streak, we're all quick to go, no, he's the best in his position. But how does it know it's just a streak he's on? But when he's on a bad streak, he's done. He's finished. Bro, people are saying Mane's been done for a year. He hasn't been done for a year. Mane also, and again, I'm not even making excuses.
Everyone
Mane had COVID as well. But again, we don't. There's so many things I think to myself, raw. People are very quick, man, to just change their tune on Mane. But anyway, it's cool. We move.
Just to clear this up. So, what do you mean more time? Can I forgot all of last season? If anyone, again, we can do the whole stat stuff with this and everything. Up until I'd say December, in fact, up until January, Mane was still playing very well for us.
Do you know what's so mad?
So it wasn't a whole season.
But why don't they say
top of the league?
Why can't people accept
second half? Sorry, Matt. Second half of the season, I agree. Mane was poor. But there was a bag of man that were poor as well. He may have been the most poor, but there was other players that were poor as well. He was not poor for the whole season. This whole narrative of he was poor for a whole season has to stop. He wasn't poor for a whole season. Half a season, yes, but there's a difference between saying Palmer was poor for a whole season and half a season. He was not poor for the whole season. It's the same thing I say about Bobby in 1920. People forget up until January, February, Bobby was balling out. After the lockdown, that's when Bobby really, really went bad. But let's not forget about the 4 months before that, the 5 months before that. Please have balanced opinions. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying not to have your opinion. Just have a balanced opinion and think about everything before you formulate that opinion. Because just to make comments and say he's finished or he's had a whole bad year, like, do you know what a calendar year is? You know, we weren't even playing football in August. Liverpool weren't playing football in August. Season didn't start until September.
But these men are forgetting this is the same Mane that had Reece James on a piece of string when we played them at Stamford Bridge.
Scored 2 goals to win us that game. That was less than a calendar year ago. So come on, people.
Wasn't that last season in the same kit that I'm wearing now? But Mane's been dead for the whole year. All right, cool.
That's all I'm
Let's move.
To be honest with you, it's kind of easy to pick at certain players that like we like as well, because I think it's just like an easy game to play.
But I don't think it's that. No, there are people who will say Mane is finished. That's fair enough. But if you can justify it to me, that's all I'd ask.
For me, like I said, for me, I don't think he was worse than any of the other front players today. Personally,
I think in a bad game.
He was involved in winning the penalty, and Jota didn't do anything to do with like actually being part of a goal today.
Right. We're not this is to anybody. We're not 10 games.
I'm talking
no. I'm not even talking to you when I say this. We're not 10 games in. We're 3 games in, and people are saying Mane's finished. You know, imagine that. Like, what are you basing it off? What one really bad game that he had? You're basing it off that. You're saying 3 games in, and you're saying man's done. All right, cool.
Let's get back. Let's get back to
player ratings. I can't be able to even focus on it.
Stevie says same lineup, same problem. No penetration at the moment. Woeful. Jerry says, why is Klopp saying a draw is good? I hope he didn't say that, but he probably has.
Because because when you play anyone who you're going for the title with, as long as you don't drop points against them, it's not a bad result.
But you have to look at the conditions around it though, Drift.
But at the same time, Cal, I think one thing that we have to do, and don't get me wrong, I'm super disappointed we didn't win that game. But I think it's very easy for people to always just assume because the team's got 10 men, you're going to beat them. If that team's organised and are full of quality players like Chelsea are, the 10 men is an advantage, but it's not an automatic game-winning situation.
I'm not saying it is, but
plenty times when 10 men have actually beaten 11 men.
no.
So I think people get too carried away with the they were down to 10 men thing.
I get that drift, but it's the fact that we played poor in the second half.
Yeah, but we played poor in the first half, so it's not even the 10 men thing. Do you get what I mean? We just had a bad game in general.
So that's what I'm saying. No, but here's how I look at it, drift. Yeah, say for example, I was late to work. On a sheet of paper, it'd say Callum was late to work today. But if I told you, boy, do you know what? My train broke down and then someone got hit by a bus, so there was traffic diversions. You'd be like, you'd say, "Raw, you know what? There's nothing you could have really done about that." But if I just said I was late to work because I couldn't be asked to walk faster for the train, you'd be like, "Well, that's your own fault, isn't it?" Like for me, today was our own fault, so that's not a good draw.
Breaking news. Paul Joyce has said, Jurgen Klopp says Roberto Firmino suffered a hamstring injury against Chelsea. I'll have a scan tomorrow.
1975, Jamrock says, no, Drift. You adapt when situation changes. I agree with that one, Jamrock. I agree with what you're saying. And I agree with what you're saying as well, Drift. Like going into the game, if you said 1-1, yeah, fair enough. But you know what?
I thought Jamrock was talking about the fact that when it went down to 10 men, we should adapt to the situation.
Yeah,
but either way, I'm just saying, if you go look at the history books, there are many times when the 10 men have held on or they've actually won the game. It isn't an automatic, you're going to win the game now just because the other team have 10 men. It gives you an advantage, but if you're two good teams, the advantage isn't so out of this world that you're just, we should win the game now. Do you get what I mean? Like, I think people are kind of seeing the 10 men, and that's what's making people even more angry about it. I'm upset with the performance as a whole. Forget they were down to 10 men. Even the first half, we were poor. Like, we were poor. I just think our whole game was poor. And to be honest, them keeping 11 men on the pitch may have been easy. Like, if Reece James had got a yellow instead of a red and we scored and made it 1-1 and they came out still believing they could win, they would have left spaces behind that. Maybe we might have actually scored another goal. Do you get what I mean? Like, 10, it's actually easy to say 10 men, and the Chelsea fans will do it as well. It's only because we had 10 men. Listen, you had 11 men on the pitch still when we got the ghost goal when you should have went down to 10 men. You didn't win that game. Do you get what I mean? Like, who knows? Who knows what would have happened if it had been like that? So.
LDO said, blessing in disguise. They have to sign someone. Well, Klopp did say that. Klopp said if there's a big injury,
Firmino, yeah, but I don't like people having to get hurt before.
Of course not. But
no, I know you're not saying that, but I'm saying if that's the truth, then I hate this shit. If Matip never got injured, we wouldn't have got Kabak. Now what we're saying, if Firmino don't, it's like, come on, man, we can't be doing this, man.
I agree, but we just need players, bro. Jamrock says you have to adapt to both if you add another attacker.
So people are saying Minamino's injured. Is that real, or is people trolling? How could he be injured and he didn't even play?
He didn't even play, yeah. William Wright says we badly needed a new attacker last season. It was our attack that was poor, not defense. Facts. Phil from VVD he deserves to play for a better team. Everyone, but do you know what? That William, so glad you said that because everyone kept on talking about, we're not playing well because of the defense. We had numerous chances last season to score goals. Numerous chances.
This tickled me.
I'm at a stage where I'd be excited if we decide to re-sign Shaqiri. I'm not going to lie. Maybe.
You know what?
I was even checking to see if Sturridge is still available on a free the other day, bro.
You know what? Obviously, we're gonna have to add Klopp to the player ratings. Bro.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna get back to that. Surely, I'm gonna read the super.
Have you actually got a Klopp face?
No, there's not a Klopp face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to get a Klopp face so we can add him.
See, if I can, I'll get one. North Atlantic Star says 0 big chances created against 10 men. Chelsea literally created more than you lot. Absolutely embarrassing. That's poor. Can't lie. D-Dubs. Other than score the penalty, what did Salah do? Do you want me to answer this, Drew? Well, I disagree.
Actually, tell a lie. It was a wonderful cross when Jota missed that chance. I think he should have done better with.
So I actually think he linked up well and gave Alonso quite a bit of trouble in the first half. To be fair, I think he linked up well with Harvey. Trent was kind of up and down today, so I don't think he linked up well with Trent. But I think that's down to both of them.
Here's the thing again. I will say to defend Mo the way I said to defend Robertson and Mane. Even though he didn't do anything, I like that he didn't hide. Mo was involved in the game. I remember loads of chances and times. Even if he lost the ball, he was involved. I don't like when players go missing. It annoys me more if you're missing in the game. And that's why I'm frustrated with Jota today. Because usually Jota's always involved. He's fully involved. And it could have been instructions. I don't know. But for me, at least Salah and Mane were coming deep, getting on the ball, being involved in the game. And even though they're making mistakes, they were involved. I feel like Jota, I don't even remember, apart from the head of Jota, even being in the game. And that's what was frustrating for me out of that second half. Like, I don't remember Jota apart from the header. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, I don't know.
But as a striker, though, shouldn't the service be going to Jota rather than him seeking out the service?
Well, this is the thing, bro. There was a couple of crosses that came in the box, and it was like, well, Jota, if you're going to be the forward, why aren't you on the, like, you know, because some of the crossing was good, and Jota weren't in the box to get on the end of it. You get so Robbo actually put a beautiful crossing, and literally there was just nobody in there.
No, but that's because Jota actually ran back, won the ball, and then played it out to.
Yeah, no, but then that's when you've got to be like a Haaland if he's on number 9, turn and power into the box.
But he did. But that's asking him to do 2 jobs.
I know, but bro, if he's a striker, he's got to do it. If you're going to play number 9 for Liverpool, that's what you got to do, bro.
True.
Haaland, Vlahovic, those guys, they would have done it, bro. They would have won the ball, made the pass, and then got back in the box to get the goal. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, fair enough. Nisa says, let's sleep this off tonight and hope for an angel to fall from the sky. Wake up tomorrow morning and Fabrizio headline is here we go. Mbappe to Liverpool is a done deal, or someone else.
Guys, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. We'll probably wake up and see Liverpool have been rejected for Antonio or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's unfortunately not gonna happen. Silver Spring says Shaqiri would have made a difference today. I don't know if he would have. Darius says the team needed a win today, especially since the fan base is not happy because of the lack of transfers. Didn't get it. Might be a might be a rough season ahead. I agree. Tahir said Arsenal song is by Lunis. I got 5 on it. I can't even banter Arsenal today because we didn't win our game. Well, I can actually. They were dead. Shaka A said, are we overreacting? 3 players coming back from injury and rusty. Meanwhile, Chelsea is at peak level, flying like they were at the start of 1920. I don't think we're overreacting because Klopp decides to pick those players, bro. I think that's the issue there. Klopp decides to pick those players when he didn't need to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we rate Klopp.
Yeah, Trevor says there's this button below the screen that is free and takes less than 2 seconds to click. It's called the like button. If you haven't smashed it, you deserve a 0. Please, guys, smash the like button.
Even if you're a Chelsea fan and you're just coming in there for the LOL, smash the like button.
Asen says, I'd take Andy Carroll and Benteke at this point. I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't.
Guys, no, that's got to be banter anyway.
William says, we weren't just unlucky today with injuries. FSG sacked our old proven medical staff at the start of last season to save money and hired that bum from Arsenal. Now we keep getting injuries. We're finished.
You know what? If it is true that we actually did the whole medical staff change around only for financial reasons, I am very disappointed.
Well, let me ask you a question though, because you say we're getting injuries. Why did Firmino start then if he's not fully match fit or ready?
That's on Klopp.
Why did Robbo start if he's not fully match fit already?
It's on Klopp.
That you can't. That's what I'm saying. We can't just. I think the whole blaming the medical staff. Look, don't get me wrong. I wish we kept the old ones because they seem to work like a treat. But we keep on blaming the medical staff when Klopp's the one making decisions as well.
No, but bro, am I right in believing? And if I'm wrong, then sorry, apologies. But from what my understanding is now of a medical team, it isn't just about the person who actually knows what's wrong with you and helps you. It's also about the people who set up your regime, know how what diet you should be. Like, isn't the medical team a part of that whole thing? So it could even be the way the players are doing things that is making them get injuries on a day-to-day basis. Do you get what I mean? Because nowadays, medical staff ain't just literally the doctor, is it? It's like the whole. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So maybe the other people had them on a regime, diets, schedules, whatever, and it was working, and that was changed with the new guys. it's having an effect on the players. You never know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. 1975 Jamrock says we have 7 centre midfielders. We can only play a max of 62 games if we reach all the cup finals. Top players in big teams average 40 games per season. Yeah, we need a big squad, bro. Bro, we need a big squad. Like, you've got to convince them to come. They've got to be away. Like, if other teams can do it and have 2 good players in each position pretty much, then why is our excuse not to? So do we just keep Nico forever then, if that's the case?
And
Do
the
we
other
just
thing,
keep-
Jamrock, you got sorry, Cal, to cut you. The other thing you got to remember, Jamrock, is of those 7 midfielders, one of them's 36 and should really only be playing when absolutely necessary, as much of a legend as he is. And you've got Hendo, Fabinho, who do get their fair share of injuries through the season, and then you've got Ox and Naby, who are actually injury prone. So when you really deep it, Harvey and Jones are the only 2 where you could go, maybe they could play 40 games. Do you get what I mean? Like, yeah. I know Fabinho was an absolute don, but I still think he's got quite a poor record in comparison.
He gets injured every season, pretty much.
And misses like 3 months as well. He doesn't get those injuries where like he's only gone for a week or 2. He gets those like he's out from January to March kind of injuries. Do you know what I mean? So I think when you look at our midfield, it looks big numbers wise, but when you really think about it, like we need another body just because we know that there's a possibility. And what you also got to remember is it's all about combination. Now we all know Milner and Henderson, terrible combination. Naby and Ox, terrible combination. So what you've also got to think is if there's a couple of injuries and you've got to play midfielders, the fact we've got combinations that don't even work, what if the injuries mean it's Naby and Ox that play? You'll be like, that don't work. Or if it's Henderson, do you get what I mean? So you've also got to factor in that means there's not as much midfield options as well, because not all of our midfielders can play with all of our midfielders. So I know we have got a lot of bodies, but I still think there's quite a few issues in that midfield that we need to address.
Agreed.
Agreed.
AA says breaking news: Liverpool will sign 2 laundry ladies. Shaka A says we need to talk about Hendo's decline, fellas.
Is there a decline though, or is it just he had a bad game again? He's just come back off an injury as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's a decline there.
Decline,
Stevie says
really?
Cunha was the perfect Bobby 2.0. Went to Atletico Madrid for 30 mil. Do we need another Bobby though? That's my question.
Do you know who we do need?
Cunha's a good player, but do we need another Bobby?
We need another Bobby if it's going to be elite like João Felix.
Yeah, but then is João Felix still going to get you the sort of goals that we need from our number 9 or want from our number 9?
No, but I think in our system, the way he plays, he'd be like Bobby was 5 years ago. Do you get what I mean?
Arguably, is the system not the problem though? Is the false 9 system not the actual issue?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we've fallen in love with the false 9 team.
We need to switch it up a bit.
James,
do you know who we do need, Carl? Just quickly, we need Rodrigo de Paul. Can't even lie.
He's at Atletico Madrid as well, bro.
Oh yeah, I know. I guess we got in our group.
Atletico Madrid.
Interesting.
A lot of people are realizing the Diaz situation. When he goes Everton, he's gonna light up, you know.
James Anderson says, peace, my G's. I'm literally thinking we might not make top 4 if we continue without signings. I'm FSG out now. We'll be Europa League team in 3-4 years. Top 4, I still think we'll get.
I think we'll get to, it's more about, listen, top 4 shouldn't be our goal. We're Liverpool Football Club, and not even that, where we are now and the players we have at our disposal, we just need a bit more. So we should be going for the league, not worrying about top 4. We should be challenging for the title and Champions League and Carling Cup or whatever that cup's called now, and FA Cup.
Jamrock says, how do you divide up the remaining 30 games for 4 centre midfielders? Other teams can do it because they don't have Klopp as a coach who mismanages a squad. Other teams can also do it because they have fit players and readily available squads, bro, because their managers are backed by wealthy owners.
Agreed,
Mr. Dare I say it, the only way to build squad is to pay big wages, because quality players don't come knowing that there'll be squad players unless we pay big wages. Don't fully agree with that. I think there's some truth to it. I don't think fully, because I don't think Simicast is on big wages as such.
No, I don't think he is. Could be wrong though.
Shaka says Hendo stifles our attack and slowed the ball. He did today, but I don't think that means he's on the decline.
Yeah, he just, again, Henderson did have a good game today. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to Monster. Congratulations on your 1-1 win, bro. And I all love to Monster. All right,
believe.
Klopp, Jurgen Klopp. What are we giving Jurgen Klopp? As a rating
I have
today?
to be real, bro. I'm giving him a. You know what? I'm giving him a 4. Do you know why I gave him a 4? Because 4 means poor. Do you know why I say he was poor today? He started Simicast. Sorry, started Robbo when he should have started Simicast. He started Elliot when I said that was a massive gamble. And these are the type of things that kind of make or break. And again, it's nothing on Harvey Elliott because his quality. Harvey Elliott is going to be part of our future. But I think to throw him in a game of this magnitude, knowing what Chelsea are like, was a big ask. So for me personally, I would have went with Naby or even Ox just to give something different. And believe it or not, I was actually still kind of shocked he started Firmino over Jota. I understand why he did it because you're talking about Firmino's build-up play, Firmino's even defensive contribution as well. But here's the thing: we were complaining, not me, by the way, but other people complaining. Oh, Jota's not involved in the game, but Jota scored 2 and 2, and I know Firmino's also scored as well. But Jota is that type of player. When he does play for the middle, he might not be involved in the game that much, but he can get you a goal. And maybe he should have started because what's so funny is that other than Jota's header that Mendy had to kind of like slightly push over.
Yeah.
Can you remember any other chances other than Mane missing the ball, Henderson's controlled strike with his weak foot? Jota was slightly kind of dangerous and he wasn't even involved in the game, if that makes sense. And that's the thing. Sometimes you can have these players where they're not involved in the game that much, but they can get you a goal. And so far, Jota does seem like that type of player, especially when he plays down the middle. Remember, when he plays on the flanks, he's very different.
He does get involved a lot.
Yeah, for me, I'm giving Klopp a 4 because I thought he was poor today. That's my opinion.
Klopp gets a 3 from me. Slyros one, people have to realise we're not asking for the likes of Mbappe. We can go to Leeds and say there's 45 mil for Rafinha. We're realistic now of FSG. I don't think 45 would get Rafinha. But I get what you mean. Not everyone's sitting there saying we want an Mbappe, we need an Mbappe.
Yeah.
But to say we can't find one player in world football who can come in and deputise for Salah and Mane or compete with them, for me is crazy.
He plays for Newcastle, boys.
Well, where are his scouts? Because I'll be honest, people used to use that same argument with Robbo. Oh, you can't find someone for Robbo because who's going to want to come and sit on the bench for Robbo? Found Simicast. Is anyone complaining? We can't sign a fourth choice centre back because who's going to want to come and sit behind Matip, Virgil, and Gomez? Didn't we sign Kanate? Like we've signed these players, so what's the argument now? Like,
do you know what, Jiff? Jiff, I think you were speaking. No, Jody, it was Jiff. We were all speaking privately or something. And you said something about. I won't fully go into it, but it's about Klopp and some of his comments, and you was questioning them. And I remember something that stuck out to me when he was like, not saying that he's just like happy or he sounded happy.
It's the voice note I sent you lot last night.
Yes, it was that one. It made me think, yeah. And you see that today, yeah. Now I haven't seen his press conference or whatever after the game, so I don't know what he's gonna say, but I really want to know how he feels now. Is he still gonna come with that same energy where he's like happy with the squad? We just didn't play well, or whether he actually knows deep down, do you know what? I've been gaslighting a few players because I need to sell them, but we need I want to know what he really feels on what he's thinking because
you'll never know, B.
No, I know, because here's the thing with FSG. I know we give them a lot of stick, and this is where it's so hard to judge. Is Klopp fully happy, or is he just chatting strategically, knowing that he needs players? Because I'm gonna be real. I know it's only 3 games in, and I said this already. But 3 games in against a title rival kind of does show where you're at. And we're not in a bad place, by the way. Let's just get that out of the way. We're not in a bad place. We in my opinion, will make top 4. But if you want to challenge for the title, you need a bit more. And I'm wondering whether he's suddenly realized it now after today, where he's like, do you know what? 10 men couldn't break them down. Maybe we need a bit more. Maybe we do. Maybe I was short-sighted kind of thing. I don't know what he's thinking, but I really want to know, bro. And do you want to know something? We'll find out on Tuesday. And don't get me wrong, even if we don't sign a player, we can't just say, oh, Klopp didn't want a player, but we'll have a better understanding of where things are. And not only that, maybe we'll have a better insight of where his mind's at. Because I'll be honest with you, if we're not linked with any player, that might suggest that we don't want no one. But I can't think that's the case. He must know.
Put it this way. put it this way, Matt. Yeah, you see, if I robbed the bank, I'd want Klopp to be my right hand man, because if we get nicked, I know I'm not going to jail. Simple as.
Here's the wickedest thing. Yeah, Matt made a comment the other day that is bang on the money. You're 100% right, bro. When you said Klopp might be trying to boost confidence because publicly bigging somebody up will give that player a feeling of, oh, right, like the boss believes in me, like. And I fully do understand that logic. Do you know what I mean? Just in life in general, even like, I don't know, even if it was your son.
Because imagine, not in a disrespectful way, imagine if you're stuck with them. When I say stuck, it's like, okay, so you're left with that player. All you can do then is boost up his morale, hope that he can kind of take you.
Yeah. No, I get it. It'd be like if you heard your parents talking about you in the other room, but they didn't know you were there. But you heard them going, I'm so proud of what he's doing at school. Like, he got a B+ the other day. Like, he's doing well. Like, you go back upstairs, you feel good about yourself. You heard your mum and your dad bigging you up. Do you know what I mean? To uncle or whatever. Like, you like. So I get that confidence boost that you can get when somebody bigs you up in public. Like, I get it. So you're actually on the money when you say that. I kind of do get it. What worries me, though, is there's a part of me that I don't necessarily even think is strategic like that, bro. And it's like just a thing of like, to do it. There's a part of me that feels like he's drinking the Kool-Aid, bro. Like, I do. Like, I feel like when I'm watching the interviews and he's saying things, and this is my guy, Ox, if you ever see this, everyone on there knows you're my guy. But when he says stuff like, a player like Ox, go and try and find me anybody in world football like Ox, and you probably can't. When he's saying stuff like that in public, that's when I'm like, nah, he's sipping on the Kool-Aid, bro. He's sipping on the Kool-Aid. Like, there's trying to give your player a boost, and then there's you're fully in this FSG will be all right. We don't need to buy it. Like, when they asked him about Genie, the journalist specifically said to him, what are you feeling like now you're going into the season? And the first thing he said, he's like, whoa, well, I've seen Genie play for PSG a couple of times, and we're like, whoa. So straight away, he's like, I miss the guy, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like, but you keep saying we need a Genie replacement. Explain to me why we need a Genie replacement. We've got Naby who can do this. We've got Henderson that can do this. We've got Thiago who can do this. He's like, to what point do we... He's like, yes, he played a lot of games, but you're telling me we need a Genie replacement. I have a skill that Genie has in every single one of the players I have at the squad right now. So to say we need a Genie replacement, I don't agree with that. And I'm watching it and I'm like, it doesn't mean this, or is he drinking the Kool-Aid? This is what I'm worried about.
So what you're saying could be true. You could be drinking Kool-Aid, but do you know what else I think as well? And this is what worries me more than anything. I'm worried he's been told, unless you raise more player sales, no one else is coming in. So you pretty much know what you've got. Brother, I'm gonna be real. If he doesn't hype up the players that aren't currently in rotation or playing week to week, we've got a serious problem. Because that would only mean 11 to 12 players have any amount of confidence. The other players like Ox, dare I say, even your Nabbies, your Minaminos, Origis, bro, they are just going to be shot for confidence. He has to find a way, knowing that he's going to be stuck with them. That's my worst fear. You know, my worst fear is that they've said to him, unless we get more money, we can't make no signings. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, unless you raise player sales, we ain't getting no money. So basically what you have is what you have, innit? Like, you've known this, Jurgen. You signed on the dotted line in 2015. This is what we do. Like, you've known this for a while. That scares me more than anything, bro. Because do you want to know something? If that is the case, and he's gaslighting all these men that he knows that aren't good enough, we're in some serious doo-doo. Like, serious doo-doo. Like, I'm waiting for you to play that clip drift on Tuesday. Like, I'm actually waiting, but yeah.
I'm just saying. I just hope he doesn't believe what he's saying, because he's very convincing. I can't lie. I'm watching him. I'm like, he's convincing me right now.
But do you know what else? He was very
good enough to actually
that when he said it. That's what makes me think he doesn't like. You know, when he said it, his back was up. Like, we have. You know when he said it, he was like, well, we have Oxlade-Chamberlain, we have Naby Keita, we have players. Why do we need? His back was up to say, like, why you ask me that question? It's almost like, I don't know, maybe it's like, why ask me that question? Like, you already know the answer. But right now, it's a thing where it's like, what can I do? These are all the men that I have. I don't know, man.
Yeah, but then I'd rather he just kept quiet, bro. And big them up in private and let them know, put your arm around them and be the amazing manager that you are. And you know what I mean?
True,
put your arm around them.
Because they've got is always...
Here's the problem. These men have got mad. Naby, Ox, they're top ballers if they're playing and they're performing and they're in form or whatever. But like, so do all of that. don't come on public and do it, because that smells of Arsene Wenger, and that's the bit I don't like. It's that
Fully agree.
defending the owners and making them look like the good guys, or like what they're doing isn't wrong. That's the part that eats me up, man. I don't like that part.
Or maybe he's just
Arsene
doing the
Wenger
whole.
vibes, man.
He might just be doing the whole, right, cool, I'm not going to say nothing, but you lot are going to see how many miracles I was pulling when I finally leave the club.
Well, I hope not.
That's even worse.
Technically, that's what Wenger's legacy's kind of been restored now. Think about it. Like, Unai didn't do anything. Arteta's got these men in a relegation battle and bought a relegation goalkeeper just to confirm it.
It's mad.
Like,
yeah, I mean, Unai did get them to a European final, but
to get.
Do you know what?
Bro.
Someone,
but he still got there. Bro.
do you know what? Yeah, someone just said it best. Yeah,
So we don't have the capacity.
Bro, don't make me laugh today, bro.
So we don't have the capacity.
Oh boy, 1975 Jamrock says gets a 2 out of 10 in my book. Poor in all phases. Yeah, fair
it's
enough.
the bit there was that we don't have the capacity.
Adam LFC says Firmino hamstring injury. We desperately need another forward. Doku would have made a difference tonight. Quick, direct, and both-footed. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm just not convinced by Doku like other people are.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Jeff, I said this. Did I say to both of you actually? So my headphones are a bit low, but I've got a problem, technical problem. But did I say to both of you? I can't remember. Didn't I say I'd rather Adama over Doku, because Adama is obviously more. He's ahead of Doku in development. Doku might have more potential, but if we just want someone who can just bad up man and put a ball in and can just frighten a man, you better off getting Adama.
No, Matt, I was just about to ask you. It's quite ironic.
My headphones are mad low, so I've got to listen hard. Say that again, bro.
It's ironic you said that, because that was what I was literally just going to say. When people are talking about who they want, is Adama actually not quite a good option after watching that game and thinking it wouldn't actually be bad to have a guy when he's got the ball and he's running at players? We go back to being a bit more scary because he would actually beat his players. Because if we're being honest, as good as Mane, Jota, Firmino, and Salah are as players, beating their man has never really, and maybe Mane, but it's never really been their forte. Is it not time to get a player who every time he gets the ball, he beats his man? Every time. Like, you can't really stop Adama when he's in full flow. Like, you just can't.
You can drift.
Nah. When he's in full flow, Cal, he's
Drift, he's so inconsistent, though, bro. That's his problem. That's always
but Wolves are also inconsistent. How about if he's in a good team with a good manager, bro?
I don't know. I think it's one
right now. I'll take Adama. Say, like, anyone that could just beat a man and make something happen, I'm gonna be real.
But we're taking Adama because, like, we've got no other options in it.
Bro,
it's the whole last.
Let me ask you.
The whole switch on the lights at the end of a night, innit? And grab something quick.
That's true. Serious question though, Cal. Would you rather Adama come off the bench or Minamino?
Sorry, my headphones went funny. Could you say that again?
Don't do it me, because I'm struggling at it. You know who you'd rather have though, innit?
Listen,
I promise. Like, and even it's been a weird these past few months. Knowing out.
Big up Storms as well.
William Wright says we need an ASM type player, someone who can take a man on and do something unpredictable. This helps create space against low block teams instead of crosses. True. Shaka A says I watched Pep sub on. Yeah, I watched Pep sub on Sterling and Mahrez 3-0 up today.
Bro, before I get stuck into that, you see what he just said, Mahrez and Sterling. Imagine this: they started Jesus and Grealish. Jesus and Grealish on the flanks, yeah, bruv. They brought on Sterling and Mahrez, bro. Klopp was trying to win a game and brought on Simicast.
Let that sink in. Let sizzle in your spirit. It's true.
We don't have the capacity.
No. To be fair to Klopp, while also trying to win the game, he did bring on Thiago, and I think everybody wanted Thiago to come on. So we can't just be all the way. You got what I mean?
Drift, they were winning the game 3-0. and still brought them on because they wanted more. He wanted to teach Arteta
They
a
wanted
lesson.
more.
No. What I'm saying is we can't just go all the way in on Klopp today because of the whole like substitution.
No. That's
this
not
isn't
on
on
Klopp.
Klopp.
That's about
that's not a
that's
dig
not
on
on
Klopp.
Klopp. That's
That's
more
a
to
dig
do
on
with where we stand
infrastructure.
as a club.
No, because I remember
options and all that
earlier
stuff.
on a lot of people saying that all his substitutions were terrible. I'm thinking the Thiago one.
No. What I was trying to say is he hasn't got.
Timings are poor.
What I was going to say, yeah, time's poor, but what he has at his disposal. This is why we're screaming as fans like, Klopp, we know you don't need an Mbappe to work miracles or a Haaland. You just need two quality players, whether that's a forward and a midfielder, to add to what you have. And I said, for argument's sake, what's available right now, us as fans will take a Basuma right now, and we will take who's a forward player that's available right now as quality. Your guy,
Martinez.
Who? Sorry,
Lautaro Martinez.
Both Lautaro and Basuma
And again, he was not
would
even my
make us
first
go
choice,
crazy.
Exactly.
Let's be real, make us go crazy.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I know I've got an agenda for Ryu, yeah, I do. I'll admit that. I think it'll probably be easier to get Newcastle to sell him than it would Inter to sell Martinez, to be
Agreed.
honest.
No, it probably would.
Yeah.
But
I know he's got a long contract, but the fact that they're a small club and like he would probably be like, "But please, man, this is Liverpool, like, or whatever." And the fact that, their owner is a little greedy and he does kind of like, if we was to just drop like 50-55 mil on their doorstep in the last 2 days, I think they'll take it. If I'm being honest.
I'll take St. Max and Basuma.
St. Max and Basuma
right now
would make our window change dramatically like that.
Basuma and St. Max right now, I'm all for it. I'm all for it right now.
Everything is completely different.
Look, let's save this one for. Let's save that
definitely for Tuesday. For Tuesday, 100%.
Tuesday as well, yeah.
But on Tuesday we're going to be talking about we shouldn't have what we should have done. Right now, at least I can live in a tiny bit of hope that with 2 days left, it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Gangan Deep says, "Evening, gents. Hope you're well. Honestly, this game was crying out for a goal scoring midfielder. If we had a Coutinho type of player, we win this game, in my opinion." Could be right there.
Pete Coutinho unlocks that defense today for sure.
Eric says, "We're not good enough to win the league. 11 against 11, we can beat anybody. It's a 11 v 11. 11 against 11, we get beat today. Sorry, it's a pen, but not an intentional. So it wasn't a red card. We need more players. It wasn't intentional. If you watch it back, bro, he moves his hand towards the ball. Like when you actually watch the replay, it was intentional. He had to go down to 10 men. 11 men, though, I kind of think it was a different game because they have to come out and actually play against us. Yeah. So maybe that leaves space in behind, as Drifty said earlier.
100%.
Jamrock says, not gonna mind read what Klopp is thinking, because most people will mind read what they already believe in their mind. I'll take him at face value for now. If that's the case, we've got to take everyone at face value as well, then, including the owners who said after Klopp won the Champions League, he can have whatever he wants.
Am I right in believing, guys, that 45 mil's actually been the asking price for Basuma? Like, that's actually what Brighton have said it would take to listen to.
Reportedly 40 to 50, reportedly somehow.
I've heard it was 30 to 40.
Okay.
There's no excuse not to go and get Basuma.
Imagine not even going for a player that's going to cost you around the 30-40 million pound mark. I will massively improve your midfield.
Mr. Dare I say, Drift, I'm waiting for when Klopp starts crying about when Naby Gomez, Joe, Oxennaby get injured. When that happens, Klopp can do one, because I've been on Klopp since May. Ason says, isn't much confidence if you're dropped when you perform. That's true as well. That's very true as well. Yafu says, do you guys like the new style of refereeing? I do, when it's not Anthony Taylor.
For real.
I do.
Whatless referee. Darius said, as bad as things are right now, we're still third. We are.
You want to know what? Yeah, let's put a little bit of a positive spin on it, because obviously we have been quite negative because we feel like we should have won the game. We played the team that everybody's picked to win the league, and no matter what the circumstance, we can't really play much worse than we did today, and they didn't look good against us. Obviously, they can play better as well, but they didn't look good against us, and we were. That's the worst I've seen Liverpool play since before we went on that run. What got us third? That was a poor performance today. Do you know what I mean? When you really deep it, the fact that we can get better in terms of our performance, the fact that there are still one or two players that you could argue should have played today, like Thiago, that wasn't. I know the squad is worrying, but it isn't as bad as it's looking. We're just angry at the moment. Do you get what I mean? Because we should have won that game. We should be 9 points and we should be top. In hindsight, though, I don't necessarily think it was the worst thing that we just drew with a team who's actually tipped to win the league. So I don't want to get too down on the situation. It's more frustration, if anything. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Mr. Tibbs09 says FSG should look at the current state of Arsenal as a cautionary tale. Aiming for mediocrity, top four, season in, season out can be detrimental. Facts.
Aim for the moon, and you might reach. Aim for the stars, and you might reach the moon. Sorry, if you aim for the moon, then you might come crashing back down. And it's just how it goes.
Exactly. Answers to everything says a point versus Chelsea is a good point, boys. We move. We will forget this result if we go on to win the league. No, you're right. We all forget if we go on to win the league, but if we don't, then we may never forget this result as well. So it could go two ways. Not to try and be negative there, but it can go both ways. Abdul says Robbo and Mane have finished. The whole left side is trash. They stand in the same position. We can't win the league with those two starting. Abdul, with all due respect, Abdul, that's just not correct. Sorry, Abdul. Respect your opinion, but it's just
every bit of that. But fair enough, bro.
Yeah.
Mr. Trevor, is Trevor going to come in and brush Origi again? Because if he is, then leave it out, Trev. Leave it out.
I've not seen a super chat from Trevor.
Leave it out, Trev.
ZZ said the worst thing about today was Klopp's decision making. Line up poor, resorting to hoofball against low blocks when we have no target. Poor. I agree with that, ZZ. I really do agree with that.
I can't believe there's actually quite a lot of people agreeing that Robbo's done as well. Wow. Bloody hell.
Yeah, that's opinions.
Some people's standards are actually unrealistic to a next level, boy.
Trevor said Lautaro Martinez extended his contract today. Oh, that's one gone then.
Oh, yeah, he did actually. Well, that's what Fabrizio said. Anyway.
That's one gone then. Well, people, look, we're going to release the goal reactions video after this show, or slightly later this evening, shall I say. Please, guys, send in your viewers' reviews. Send them into our email address, which is teamkopish@gmail.com. That is teamkopish@gmail.com. Film landscape, no longer than 90 seconds, please, people, and we'll get that factored in. Monday, we'll be back for our normal Monday live show. We'll also have the daily news show in the early morning / afternoon. And then Tuesday, we're covering the transfer deadline day in the evening.
I got a feeling that that's just going to be a show of everyone being upset and ranting, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Hopefully
not. Congrats, Drift. Rumors we are signing St. Max and Yav basement from Newcastle and the J League. I have no idea what you're trying to say there on. Yav basement from Newcastle.
As you saying that rumors have started circulating that we're going to get those two players, so I'll put it in the atmosphere.
Who's Yav?
I have no idea who Yav is. Who's Yav?
No idea. Look, people, not the result we wanted. Not the end of the world, even though you probably watching this video probably seems like that. We're just frustrated Liverpool fans who want the best for our team.
Sorry. He was actually, the joke is actually Saint Minimum, as in he's taking a piss.
I got.
Saint Min. Do you know what? Sorry, I skipped over reading that properly.
Those ones where all of us are just like, woo.
Yeah. So we don't have the capacity.
Oh boy.
You know, hey, that was actually a great joke. Actually, yeah. Apologies, that one just went straight.
It really was.
This is state minimum, you know.
rumors have it. This is what FSG say to Edwards and Klopp when they ask for a new player.
I know you have something to say, and I know you're eager to say it, so I'll get right to the point. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody will ever want to hear it. Nobody cares. And the fact that you thought someone might care is honestly baffling to me. Here's a world map. Now here's the text. Shut the fuck up. That's what you should do.
John Henry, don't play that. If he says you ain't getting no money, you ain't getting no money.
Mad on that video, you know.
Oh my god. I've
boy.
actually got a feeling that every time Klopp comes out of the big boss's room, everybody's just standing there, just waiting. And Klopp was the one guy. He said, "We don't have the capacity."
Oh boy, what is to be?
Oh my god! Oh man!
Anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Bro, sign some players, innit?
I'm never gonna lie. I'd actually take Saint Minimum. Is that his younger brother? Yeah.
Yeah, I take him as well. I ain't got nothing to say, man. Just
Before we check out, guys, on the real, it's a 1-1 draw if you take out the context, and I know context is always key. If you take out the context, they were down to 10 men, we're at Anfield, and all that kind of stuff. Is a 1-1 draw, and the team who we're supposed to be fighting with on the same points as us, is that a bad result, really?
Yes.
Because of context drift. I can't ignore the context.
Remember, Drift, when we drew against Man United in the 18-19 season and we lost the league by 1 point?
No, but bro, in that season, that was when we lost to the team we were playing. Because if we'd have got a draw against
but think of the draws in that season as well.
But
Matt, just saying, if we beat Man City, if we don't lose that Man City game, we win the league.
That's very true.
We don't lose the league, bro.
That's true.
So what I'm saying is, if they're the team tipped to win the league, and the reason why I'm saying take the context out of it to try and be positive is, at the end of the season, there's no context on the result. You just see what was the result of the game. Context only matters because we're living the moment. At the end of the season, there'll be no context on the draw. It'll just be, what was the result? Win, lose, or draw. In that regard, I don't necessarily think this is the worst result. I'm trying to be as positive as I can, and I don't think this is the worst result. I'm just vexed because the performance was terrible. But if we
don't have the capacity.
Bro.
No, but seriously, if we can get a draw with Chelsea playing that poor, I think there's more to be happy about thinking about moving forward in that regard.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If we tried everything and we were playing amazing and we didn't win the game, I'd actually be more annoyed. I know that was like 20% of what the team's capable of. So I know we
should have won the game.
No, I disagree. So I'll be honest with you, Drift. Say, for example, we hit the post 4 times, or Mendy pulled off these absolutely worldies that we've never seen before. I could live with that. But we created no clear-cut chances in the second half.
I know, but we can only play better. That was a terrible performance. And we still got a draw with the so-called winning team.
You're right, Drift, but remember, we said this midway through the season when we went on that run where we didn't win a home game for how many games. Things can only get better next week.
Trust me. Do you know what it is, Drift? What you're saying in context.
We're all over the place there.
In context, it's not really the worst result in the world, but we kind of know that if we're fighting for a title, these are the type of the games that you have to take advantage of. And if Chelsea had a full strength so didn't go play it down, then maybe we still be disappointed, but I think it's because we know they were there for the taking. And if they ever come, and you know, so Madrid, hate to say, if it's the other way around, we probably would have lost the game. If this was us, I think we might even lose the game. And that's what frustrates me.
Oh, what you mean if we'd have gone down to
10? I have a funny feeling that we would lose the game. Maybe it was jammy or something. It would just, you know what I mean? But when it's other teams, we don't punish them. And like when we were talking about in the 18-19 season, which I was bringing the Man United game, Man United had all them injuries and we still couldn't beat them. And I know what you're saying because it was actually further down to the City game. But also, if we beat Man United and gain another 2 points as well in that same season, we still win the league as well.
Yeah, no. I just think as long as you don't drop points to the team that you're trying to win.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right.
Context can be taken out of it when you just look at the result.
But that's banking on the other teams that you have to beat, though. So, you're right. So you don't lose against your specific rivals, so to speak. So you don't lose against, I don't know, Man United, Man City and Chelsea, and you beat everyone else, but that's hard to do as well, though. So,
yeah.
No, I'm just trying to be a little bit more upbeat. You know what I mean? Like,
no, 100%. I hear that. I just feel like
Mr. Dare I say, it just says this result's going to eat at me for the next 2 weeks. That's another point. International break as well.
I hear that.
Look, people, we're going to sign off here. Smash the like button. Make sure you tune in for the next shows. Follow us on social media as well.
Yeah, definitely jump on Twitter right now. And actually, funny, I'm getting it trending. St. Max to Liverpool. I'm starting this shit right now. I'm gonna tag Liverpool in it. I'm tagging Ryu in it. Everyone get in there, like, retweet. Let's get St. Max to Liverpool in the next 2 days, people. Let's get this moving.
Last time he did that was with Aubameyang, and he signed a new contract after that, bro.
Nah, that was just the banter. The Arsenal fans. Look at the state of them. It's easy to wind them up. I mean this. I want us to go and get St. Max. Like, I mean this.
I'll give you a retweet and a like, bro. I'll do it.
Cool. Let's get. And I've seen that St. Max actually responds, because somebody actually tried to cuss my name once, and he actually came out and said, "No, don't do that. Don't do that. Have a bit more respect." So I know that he pays attention to his tweets. So I want him to get his agent on the blower to clock and be like, "Yo, I'm not even that far, you know. I'm in the northeast. Just bring, like, I'm not even that far. Just bring me down." You know what I mean? Like, I can tell it gets a little warmer the more I come down south as well. Like, cold up here. You know what I mean? Bring me down. Boom.
I'll tweet it and retweet it if you want, Drift.
Listen, I need St. Max. I need something to boost me up, man. I need something, man.
Bro,
I need St. Max, man.
Don't get your hopes up right now. Even I feel defeated. I just feel defeated.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows St. Max, auntie, holla. Let's play Chinese whispers. Get this moving, man. We need to let him. He needs to hear it. He needs to know Wagwan. You know what I'm saying? We need
to get Chinese whispers. We need Chinese money, bro.
Yeah, I hear
that. But people, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish, and we're out, people. Take care.
Hey.
So we don't.